What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, okay, making his debut on the channel tonight, we have Roy Buchanan. Yes, indeed, how about that? Roy Buchanan making his debut on the channel. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-bibbity bot, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Andrew Zolot, and Andrew wanted to see me react to this song by Roy Buchanan called Roy's Bluz. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted by ZZ Tops 003, okay? And the video has 2.9 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Roy Buchanan, Roy's Bluz. Yeah, spelled B-L-U-Z. I forgot to mention that during the intro. Live 1976. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Woman, you must be crazy. Why do you do these things to me? Woman, you must be crazy. Guess I'll never understand. You know I made love to another woman, 'cause I caught you making love to another man. Here I stand, baby. Still got the knife in my hand. Here I stand, baby. Still got the knife in my hand. Took care of you. gonna take care of your lover man. Yeah, if I go to hell, I'm gonna speak very highly of you. If I go to hell, I'm gonna speak very highly. Cause you've done some things, sweet mama. Yeah, I don't believe that the devil would do. Take it up while we get out.
I got a feeling they're about to tear into some solo work here. Okay. They are following the 12-bar blues blueprint to the letter. There is absolutely no deviation. A lot of times with blues bands, when they do their first four measures, they'll stay on the root for a bit. They'll go up to the four, and then they'll come back down to the root again before they go up to the four for the next for the next 4-bar phrase. No, they're staying on the root the entire first 4 bars. Second 4 bars, 2 measures of 4, 2 measures of root, and then the last the third and final 4-bar phrase, 1 bar 5, 1 bar 4, 1 bar of root, up to the 5th. Turn things around and wash, rinse, and repeat. They are literally following the blueprint to the letter. Now, is there anything wrong with that? No, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It can get a little stiff. It can get a little stale if they're going to follow that format the entire time, especially when we're doing an 8-minute long song. Luckily, I have a feeling we're going to have some solo work come into play here, so that'll help break up the monotony a bit. Bass player sounds good. I like what he's doing. I like what he's playing. I like his tone. Piano, the piano / organ player. I like what he's doing. I like what he's. I think I like what he's doing the most. He's really got a good handle on not just what he's playing, but he's got a good handle on the instrument too, as far as controls. He understands how to work that envelope filter with his foot, and he's understanding how to approach the actual tonality. Being able to manipulate the tone through the use of various knobs, buttons, and flippers, which is really cool. I also noticed he's got an acoustic piano over on his left side, and he's playing both at times. Really, really nice. I dig what he's doing. Honestly, like I said, I think I dig what he's doing the most. I believe this is Roy Buchanan. This is his band. This is his gig. This is his show. Interesting approach on the vocals. Very minimalistic. Not putting a whole lot of emphasis on the vocals. Really kind of letting his guitar playing do the talking for him, which is interesting. I like that approach. I really do. My only gripe is the guitar is glaringly louder than everything else. Now that could be on purpose. Like I said, it seems to me like he's letting his guitar do most of the talking for him. His vocal approach, very sparse, very minimalistic, and even with his delivery, very soft-spoken. In stark contrast to what's happening with the guitar, which is glaringly loud. That, like I said, it could very well be on purpose. The drumming is solid. I got no issue with the drumming. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm amazed by what the drummer's doing. It's very solid. It's basic, but it's solid. So I got no issue with anything I'm hearing from him or the bassist or the piano or the keyboard player. The only issue I really have is the guitar. Is just at times it's a little piercing. So we'll see how this goes. I have a feeling we got some solos coming up. Let's see what's going to happen here. Same thing when I play bass. I do a lot of that brushing technique, forward and back. End. It just says end. Is that really it? Is that it? Why is there a minute of... Wow, there's a minute. There's a whole minute of the word end. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a full minute of the word end. Oh, unbelievable. All right. Well, I mean, well, look, it is what it is. Ah, that's great. Anyway, let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Roy Buchanan and his company there, with a tune called Roy's Bluz. This was a request from Andrew Zolot. Okay. I thought about it. I took everything into account, and I have a score here. So let's get to the score and how I came about with this score. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that an 8.4. Yep, 8.4. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay. First things first, an 8.4, what does that mean? Well, an 8.4 would translate to a great skill rating because overall I think this was a great presentation. It would also get 4 to 5 stars and an A- letter grade. So there you go, an 8.4, great skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. Okay, it's Bluz. It's 12-bar blues. It is literally the definition, the blueprint of 12-bar blues. 4 bars on the root, 2 bars on the 4, 2 bars on the root, 1 bar of 5, 1 bar of 4, 1 bar of root, 1 bar of back up to the 5 for the transition to go back to the beginning again. That is literally the blueprint for 12-bar blues. And they played it start to finish, okay? No variations whatsoever. Is there anything wrong with that? No, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But like I said during the course of the reaction, if you don't throw in some little variations here and there, it's going to get stale. Okay, now, it's going to take a little while for it to get stale. 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Yeah, about that point, it's going to start to get stale. When we're talking about a 7.5 minute long performance, because I know the video was 8.5, but a minute of that was end. Just the word end in big blue font, end, for a minute. So to the poster, ZZ Tops 003.
What's the matter with you?
Really, dude? Seriously?
You're a goddamn disgrace!
No, for a 7.5 minute long performance, it can get a little old. Now, it was countered in a way that I'm going to talk about a little bit later. Okay, I have a reason for talking about this later. Let's talk about the rest of the band. Let's just real quick, let's talk about the band members here. The bassist, loved what he did. Everything he did sounded really good. I loved his tone. I loved his levels in the mix. He was there, you could hear him, but he wasn't dominating, but at the same time, he wasn't being buried either. I like his mix. I like his tone. I liked his approach to his playing. I liked his attacks. It had a nice little punch to it, but at the same time, it wasn't harsh. It wasn't percussive. Just a nice little punch to it. Really nice. Fingering sounded really good. Drumming, solid. I have no complaints about the drumming whatsoever. I'm at the same time not going to blow things out of proportion and say that his drumming was amazing. It wasn't. It was solid. What he was playing fit the mood and tone of the song. It fit the direction of the song. It fit the motif of the song. I have no problems with anything the drummer did. I'm not going to sit here and say it was fantastic, because it wasn't. It was solid, and we'll leave it at that. The keyboard player, on the other hand, that's another story. I really dug what he was playing at the beginning. Boy, he was tearing it up. I loved his utilization of the instrument. I loved what he was doing with the instrument. Yes, what he was playing was really well done. I will absolutely give credit where credit's due. But what really impressed me about his playing more than anything else was his understanding of how the instrument itself works and how he could get the most out of it. Utilizing that envelope filter with his foot so he could get that little waft going on there. At the same time, adjusting the tone through the use of various knobs, sliders, and I think he had a couple flippers in there too, to change the sound up a little bit while playing, so you could hear the change happening as it actually happened. Not too many keyboard players will do that. Most keyboard players will stop playing, make the adjustments, come back in, and you're like, okay, well, it definitely sounds different. How different? How did he get to there? He showed you. He actually was playing while making the adjustments. That was cool. I dug that. The fact that he also had an acoustic piano over on his left, and he was playing both at the same time, that was pretty cool. Playing 2 different patterns too. He had a more of a rhythmic pattern going with the left hand on the acoustic, while with his right hand playing a little more soloistic. Really nice contrast. Roy Buchanan's performance. Now, the vocal approach. very minimalistic, very sparse, and very soft-spoken. A stark contrast to a lot of other blues guitarists and vocalists. For example, someone like Bo Diddley, completely different. Someone like B.B. King, completely different. Even I would even say Eric Clapton, I think does more with his vocals than this guy did. This guy, I mean, and look, Eric Clapton's vocals when he plays blues, it's usually not so much sparse. I mean, he does say quite a bit, but he projects it. Eric Clapton projects it way more than Roy Buchanan does. Roy Buchanan was really soft-spoken. But I have a feeling there's a reason for that. And he wanted to let his guitar doing the talking, which is fine. That's absolutely fine. But it almost begs the question at that point, why even bother doing vocals? Just let the guitar do the work, you know? It was interesting on his performance. The song, like I said, it's just 12-bar blues. So I would honestly give the song on its own, I would give it about, I don't know, I would say I'd probably give the song on its own about a 7.2, 7.3, but I'm giving this an 8.4. How did that happen? I told you I was going to talk about more about his playing in a little bit. Well, here we are. This is how we came up from like a 7.2, 7.3, all the way to an 8.4. He demonstrated during the course of his guitar solo, he demonstrated a lot of different techniques, some really interesting techniques. His finger picking, super clean. Give credit where credit's due, absolutely. The hammer-ons and pull-offs. Okay, we get it. He did that whole 12-bar phrase with nothing but hammer-ons and pull-offs. And and to make his point, while he was doing it, he very clearly showed he was doing it one-handed with his left hand. All those hammer-ons and pull-offs, root to 3, root to 3, root to 3, 5 to 7, 5 to 7, 5 to 7, 5 to 7, 7 to 8, 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 while drinking a beer. Okay, well, look, you made your point. You did. 12 measures of hammer-ons and pull-offs, if you ask me, was a little bit much, but I get it. He wanted to make a point. He made the point, okay? Honestly, he made the point after 8 measures. He didn't need to do the last 4, but he did anyway, just to finish the point. I get it, I guess. There were a couple of highlights for me. I loved the use of the harmonics when he went overhand, fingertips up on the up by the bridge pickup, and getting all those different harmonics going on. That was really cool. And then depressing on the middle finger on the left hand, while keeping the index finger just buzzing above to get the harmonics there as well. So he had the middle finger depressed completely down the string, while the index finger was just hovering above the string, just enough to generate the harmonics. And he slowly went in sliding down. I thought that was cool. I like that. It's a nice technique. I've seen a lot of other guitar players utilize that technique. I've seen Stevie Ray Vaughan do it. I've seen Steve Vai do it. I've seen Joe Satriani do it. I'm trying to think if I've seen Yngwie Malmsteen do it. I don't think I have, but I'm sure he has. I just personally have never seen him do it. I've seen Bo Diddley do it. I've seen Eric Clapton do it. I don't think I ever saw B.B. King do it, but I mean, there's been a number of guitar players who have utilized that same technique. So I'm not going to say my mind was blown, but I absolutely appreciate the fact that he did it, and he did it well. So that was really nice. I think the thing that impressed me the most was his finger strumming, utilizing, and this is a technique that I use when I play bass. Utilizing the upstroke and the downstroke, utilizing the fingernails to get a little more of an acoustic, a little more of a percussive attack. So you're doing the upstroke with the fingertip here, the fleshy part of the finger, getting, well, it depends on how good your calluses are, getting a little bit of an attack there, and then getting a completely different sounding attack on the downstroke, utilizing the fingernails. I saw him doing that, utilizing all 4 fingers like this, and then doing the upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, but a lot faster. I'm slowing it down so y'all can see what's, you know, the motion. You know, he's going like this. It sounded really nice, sounded really cool. It was nice to see that. It was nice to see that he was not relying on a pick, but still, you know, getting some very clean attacks utilizing his finger technique. That was cool to see. I gotta say, that was really nice to see. Now, the demonstration of all of his different techniques were really nice. The bends, great bends, very accurate bends. He really understands exactly just how much to bend a string to get the exact note he wants to get, because he would hit the notes and the notes would be right there in pitch. You know, whether it be thirds or fourths or fifths or whatever, it wasn't flat and it wasn't sharp. It was right on. That's not easy to do. It is not. When you're talking about bending, you're no longer relying on a fret. You're relying on string tension, and you gotta know exactly how much to bend that string. That's not easy to pull off, and he did it really well. Some really impressive guitar playing on his part, if I'm being honest. So this is how we're coming up with, like I said, 7.2, 7.3, somewhere in there, all the way to the 8.4. It's not so much what he played from a notational standpoint. That was really easy. He was relying on the blues scale: 1, flat 3, 4, flat 5, 5, flat 7, root. And it's a blues scale. Everything he played was in that blues scale for the most part. So I can't sit here and say that what he played was all that impressive. How he played it, the techniques that he was demonstrating, that's a whole nother story. That was impressive. So yeah, 8.4, I feel good about that score, and that's where we're gonna stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have an 8.4, which is a great skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's gonna do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, that did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.